Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be talking about mantra-based meditations, so stay tuned. So welcome to the next in our series on meditation. In this one we're going to be talking about a mantra-based meditation. Now this is one I've experimented with. Now keep in mind that there's a whole nother approach that you can take to mantra-based meditations. There are actually some practitioners will pick things that are specific from a teacher in another language that you don't even understand what it means, and you will sit there and just chant this mantra to yourself over and over and over again. This is not exactly the approach that I'm taking here. The mantra type that I'm talking about in this particular meditation is something that you have selected yourself, and it's a message that you want to give to yourself. So we'll get back into that in just a second. Before we get there, I just want to make sure you understand the distinction between those. But before we get there, I want to talk about a couple kind of foundational things here. First off, I want to address form. So like with all of the other meditations that we're describing here, you want to just maintain a comfortable position. I like to sit up. Sometimes I'll do this on a couch. The big thing for me is I like to put a pillow underneath the back end of my rear, but not all the way underneath, so I'm not like sitting on it, just because it kind of propels me forward a little bit, which I feel like it's much easier to maintain a nice straight position. Once you're in this straighter position, relax your body to the point where you're not losing your position, so don't just crumple over. Keep your body there, but relax everything you don't need to maintain that position. If you're really tense, it's going to get uncomfortable very quickly. If you are just drooping down and you are a mess, that's also going to become very uncomfortable very quickly. It's also going to make it difficult to breathe properly as you're going through this. So just maintain that basic form, relax your body into it, and then get into a nice, simple breathing pattern. The breathing in this one is a little more important to me in terms of form, just because I think it goes along with the mantra component of this. For your breathing, inhale fully, kind of push down your breath into your center being kind of a little bit below your navel. Hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale it back out. I like to get myself into a comfortable rhythm with all this, not so that you're straining, but make sure that you are still taking very full breaths. Hold, and then exhale fully from kind of squeezing up your diaphragm so that you're getting just full, complete breaths as you're going through this. That's the essential form on this. In terms of timing, as we talked about in other videos, this particular one is a little less important than you have a specific time. I know I mentioned in the mindfulness meditation that it have at least 15 minutes. For this one, I think you could do it for 5 minutes, you could do it for 30 minutes, you could do it for 2 hours, whatever you feel is going to be comfortable for you. Here again, just make sure that you're picking a time frame that's going to make sense for you. If you've never done this before, spend like 5 minutes doing it. If you've done this a million times and an hour seems super easy, do whatever the heck you want to do. I personally like to hit about a half an hour. Seems like the optimal time for me, but just experiment with some different times. So lastly, I want to talk about kind of the mental component of this, because that's really the most unique thing about each of these meditations for the most part. In this one, the mantra-based meditation, you first got to pick a mantra. And the mantra is essentially just a statement that you are feeding into yourself that's going to start to become the thing that you're going to identify with, the thing that's going to represent what you want to become or what you want to have, that sort of thing. So before you do anything, you've got to decide what is it that you want. Like, what do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And then create a statement that's like that. You can make it rhyme, you can make it sound super cool, you can make it limericky, whatever you want. Just make sure it's something that you're going to easily remember, and make sure it's something that's going to resonate with you. Make sure it's something that you want to become. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're doing with this is to make sure that it's in the framework of an affirmative statement. That is to say, you don't want to put the focus of the mantra onto something that you're trying to get away from. Here's an example. Let's say that you're really trying to lose weight, and so your mantra should not be, I am no longer fat. The problem with that statement is that you are putting the emphasis on the fat. So your focal point goes to, I am fat, I'm overweight, or whatever the situation there is. Instead, create a mantra that is something along the lines of, I am super toned, or I am thin, or I am fit, or something along those lines, where you put the focal point on the state that you want to be in, not the state that you're trying to escape from. That's where you want your energy to go. So I would encourage you to make your statement relatively simple. Don't make it a long paragraph. Make it something that you can just repeat over and over and over and over again. That's going to take us into the actual meditation component of this. So when you sit down and you start your meditation, close your eyes. This is my preference on this particular one. And then just silently start to repeat the mantra in your head. Just keep saying it over and over and over. You can try changing the intonations. If you get to a point where you want to, you can start to say it out loud. I will sometimes do that. And part of the idea here is you're just burying this message into your subconscious. We've talked about in other videos the idea of autosuggestion, which is this concept, just very briefly, of burying something into your subconscious, a message, so that you start to become that thing, you start to believe that thing, you start to act out on that thing. This is kind of another way of approaching that, where you're just saying to yourself this same message over and over and over. I've had times where I will do a mantra-based meditation like this, where I'm saying a message, and then I will finish up, and then I will drive to work, and I find myself still saying it. And that's kind of the objective here, is you want to start to reshape your reality. You want to start to reshape who and what you are in a way that you are controlling, so that it doesn't become this mindless thing where you're just bumbling through bad habits. You start to say, what is the thing that I want in life, and how do I take myself there? What do I have to become in order to get that thing? And then make your statement about that, and then just start pounding it into yourself. You start repeating it over and over and over again. And then your subconscious is going to start to soak that up, and it starts becoming a reality. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Feel free to shoot me a message through either the YouTube channel or through the website. If you haven't already checked out the website, please do that. The domain is www.embuffination.com. Also, if you haven't done this, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Emotional Embuffination. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Every time I finish meditating, I follow up with a journaling exercise, and I always use this, which is My Reality Generator. It is a journal with guided prompts and ability to free journal. It's got sections on mantras specifically, so it'll help you reinforce those same concepts you were doing in the mantra-based meditation. Check it out at myrealitygenerator.com.